Hey guys, my name's Ninad. I took linear algebra last year. It was the first year that it was offered. And all of us in the class made a little video to just kind of tell you what we think about the class. So I hope you enjoy.
It's more focused on theory and less focused on computation.
I thought it would be similar to Algebra 1 and Algebra 2 and things like that. It turned out not to be like that. It's more of a proof-based class actually.
It was not what I expected it to be, because when I heard linear algebra, I thought about, like y equals mx plus b, and drawing lines and graphs and stuff, but it wasn't. I was really surprised that on the first day of class, we were doing proofs.
I took a different approach to math than I was used to. Instead of using formulas, it was more based on proofs, which was an interesting way to look at math.
It is set at a college level. You'll be asked to do work at a college level. You'll have to be writing proofs. You'll have to really study. You'll have to do problem sets every week.
As long as you study, do all the problem sets, really work with the textbook and make flashcards for all the theorems.
It really challenges you to think more about what you already have learned and apply the knowledge you already know to different concepts and things like that.
You do have to read every night. It's not like you're doing problems every night, you're doing problems every week.
Despite what other people might say, like linear algebra is really easy, it's actually rather difficult and it's really challenging, and this is what makes it so great. You're constantly challenged week after week in new topics that you've never seen before.
Like eigenvectors and vector space transformations. Just doing a lot of practice problems really helped me to gain a better grasp on some of these concepts.
Linear algebra was a very eye-opening experience. While the class was very challenging at first, it exposed me to a whole different genre of math class, I think. It was a class that was focused on proof-based work as opposed to raw calculations.
Linear algebra actually has a ton of applications, so you might not realize it, but linear algebra, if you're looking to go into computer science or doing really any higher level, probably need to learn linear algebra, especially if you're using graphics, but really in any sort of data mining.
Even if you are planning on becoming an engineer where most of the math classes are going to be based on computation, it's still really helpful to see what being a math major is like, or being a computer science major, because computer science does use a lot of math theory.
So linear algebra was so much fun, not just because it was rigorous and challenging and we were always working towards a new level of understanding that we hadn't reached before, but because the people that were in that class were the people who were really pushing you to your limits and pushing you to be the best student that you could be. And I think that when you're surrounded by that kind of energy and those kind of peers is when you really get to be the best student that you can be. And I think that linear algebra did a really good job of combining the fun of math and also definitely the challenges, and the people in the class were absolutely the best part.
Algebra is a very unique experience because all the other math classes that we've taken so far, like pre-calc or Algebra 2 or calculus, they're all about finding numerical solutions to problems. So it goes from like a lot less of how to a lot more of why, and that's like what more of real math is. And for me, I find it fascinating, and I think that anyone with the right mindset can also find it fascinating too.
Linear algebra was hard, but it was really cool math. It was all proofs, and you get pretty close to the people in your class because there aren't a lot of you, and you have a bunch of inside jokes and stuff like that. So it was pretty lit. Tombstone.
Okay, so first of all, if you're trying to take linear algebra because you think it's an easy class, don't. If you're trying to take linear algebra because you think it's going to be a hard class, then linear algebra is probably going to be the right class for you.
I've always been comfortable with my math classes throughout grade school, but this class I think truly challenged me, and it forced me out of my comfort zone that I was used to experiencing in the public education system. I found myself reading chapters from the textbook several times just to understand content, and overall I think that linear algebra really helped me prepare for different styles of math classes like college level math courses, and also got me used to thinking through problems by myself with the use of a textbook.
My advice for someone looking to take this class would definitely be know what you're getting into and know that you have to put in a lot of work in order to do well in this class. There are a lot of theorems that you have to memorize for tests and quizzes, but if you do memorize these things, then applying these theorems in different proofs should be a lot easier. Not that I'm saying it was easy to begin with, but overall I think the experience was worth it.
The advice that I have for students looking to take the course next year, read the reading before the day it's due, because it kind of helps to know what Mr. Schuler's talking about every day. I would say really think about the problems. You shouldn't have the shortest, most elegant answer for each question. You should really have a well thought out, well written. So, it's rigorous and it's challenging, and if you enjoy doing math and learning new math, you should take it.
Take linear algebra because of how awesome it feels to finally understand a concept that you've been struggling with a few minutes before the test, and just realizing how beautiful math is.
So now that we've seen everybody else's thoughts, I thought I'd just add in a little bit of my own thoughts. I think it's a great class because it's really rigorous and it exposes you to math that most people only see when they're in college, so it gives you an advantage when you finally do get to college. And it's a fun class because Mr. Schuler isn't out to kill you, and the friendships that you make in the second semester of your senior year bonding over those problem sets, they're really tight, and you have a lot of inside jokes like Maxwell said. It's always going to be lit for 7th period linear algebra. So I definitely recommend that you take the class.